Hello and welcome back, everyone, to another episode of Optics in Action, where we spotlight leaders who have vision and clarity. And I am so excited to have today Cynthia Zhai. I hope I pronounced that correctly.
That's
Uh,
correct.
Excellent. Cynthia is a voice coach, a professional speaker, and best-selling author. She's also a TEDx speaker. She's spoken twice at TEDx, she's told me about, and she's helped professionals from 52 countries across 6 continents. And I'm so excited to speak with Cynthia this morning because my wife and we used to live in Singapore, and I understand you're based in Singapore.
Yes,
So I'm excited to feature you on Optics in Action, learn a little bit more about what you do and how you do it and why you do it, and share that with our audience. So welcome, Cynthia. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
sure. Thank you, Ryan, for having me. And what a small world. So the next time when you're in Singapore, you have to tell me. um, I am a voice coach. My job is to help people sound more powerful so that whenever they're speaking, whoever they're speaking to, and wherever they're speaking, they can always be heard and be respected.
Very good. And tell me a little bit about why you do this. I always like to start with the purpose. I like to understand from our guests, why is it that you do this? Why do you kind of why did you go down this path in your career
Yes.
and help folks with this? Why is it so important to you?
Sure. So I just wrote a LinkedIn post saying that living your Dharma. So I am living my Dharma, the purpose of my life, which is to help people be heard. The most of the times, you will realize that we teach what we needed to learn the most. So
Mhm.
I needed to learn how to be more powerful in my voice, how to be heard. And so when I was in my very first job, more than 20 years ago, I was not heard. I was not assertive. So initially, I was on my way to become more assertive. And then I stumbled upon the speaking voice. And when I developed my speaking voice, I realized not only that I sounded more assertive, more powerful, but also I felt more powerful. So that planted a seed. And in my last corporate job, I was doing in-house training, training our own employees. So a lot of students were asking me about voice. They said, "Oh, Cynthia, how do I have a powerful voice?" So that's where I realized, okay, not only I developed my own voice, but also this is something that people are looking for.
Yeah.
So that's how I started my journey as a voice coach. And the more I do it, the more I realize that I was chosen to do the work. So that's
That
why, yeah.
Yeah, that's fantastic. When you really find something that fulfills your personal purpose and really enables you to do what you feel called to do, it's a really powerful and impactful thing. So
Yeah.
that's really exciting. So when you think about helping people to find their voice and to be more assertive and to enable them to grow in strength in how they present themselves or speak. What does that look like for people? Is there a process that you have, or is there a way that you work with people
Yes.
to find that within themselves? I mean, this is a really fascinating topic
Yes.
that I'm sure you've studied and really developed. So tell me a little bit more
Yes.
about that,
Yeah.
what that looks like.
So when they came to me with all kinds of different voice problems, for example, one of the most common problems would be that they are not speaking with a voice that has gravitas, has power, has impact. So then I lead them through a process because we are one of the key areas to work on the voice is to work on the voice mechanism. So it's something that's very physical. Voice is vibration. So we work on the physical body, we work on the vibration. And then to work on that, I take them through 3 major steps. And these 3 steps, there are also 3 habits. So they need to break the old habit and then form new habits. So they need to form 3 habits, and each habit takes about 2 months. And
Okay.
that's why usually it takes about 6 months for them to so-called change or transform their voice by forming 3 new habits. So that's there is a process that I take them through.
Excellent. So you said a couple of things that are really interesting to me. You talked about habits, and you also talked about um, sort of the a little bit of just the science, right? There's the vibration of your voice and
Yes,
the technical parts of that. So
yes,
one of the things when I talk about optics in action, there are two definitions of the word optics. The first one is a very technical definition. It's the study of light. So you think about the vibration and lenses and
yes,
focus and clarity and alignment of lenses and all those types of things. They're very technical things. The second definition of the word optics is the perception or perspective of people about a situation, the optics of a situation. And this
yes,
is what fascinates me. So what you're just talking about is really
yes,
interesting
yeah,
in that you're talking a little bit about the science of the voice, and I
yes,
suppose that impacts the perspective or the perception of the people who are hearing that voice, and maybe even the speaker themselves has
yes,
some perceptions. So,
yes.
so can you tell us a little bit about, well, so you also mentioned about habits, and I just finished reading the book Atomic Habits, and it's
Ah,
really impactful about habits and stuff like that. So which one would you like to talk about first? Sort of the habits of it, or the science and perception of it? Which
yes.
which of those would be
So
more
we
interesting?
talk about the science and the perception first.
Okay,
So the
excellent.
science is to work on the body. Voice is vibration. There's a frequency. So every one of us, I always say that even though you're sitting here, looks like that you're not moving, but you are vibrating. You are
Mm,
sending out a frequency. So when you're speaking with a voice like this, the frequency is not good. So there's
yeah.
no impact. It may irritate people as well. People may also find that you sound young. Uh,
Mm,
and then, so when we develop the new habits and project the voice from the body, it also changes your frequency. So that's why people's perception on you start to change. They
mm,
just started to, they want to be influenced by you. They want to hear what you have to say. And when you do speak, they just look up. So the perception people on you will definitely change. At the same time, a lot of my clients, they themselves, not only just the perception, but also their own feeling about it themselves also changes. Some of them at the end of the session, I said, did you notice you're glowing?
that is exciting. I know, being someone who has led trainings and facilitated trainings all over the world myself, I know one of the most rewarding things for me is when I see the folks being trained start to implement the tools and start to see those moments of transformation in
Yes,
the individual as they start to understand, and they start to emulate those activities and behaviors that we're teaching about. So I can feel the passion in your voice as you're talking about that. Are you able to share with us those three habits that
sure.
at just a very high level, the three habits
Yes.
that you're trying to help people to develop and
Yes.
change their behaviors around?
Yes. So the three habits, the very first one is breathing. And the three habits, they form an acronym, which is BAR, B-A-R. So the first one is breathing. A lot of people are not breathing properly. So for our listeners, if I ask them to take a deep breath, so they take a deep breath, probably doing this one, then they will realize their shoulder and chest is moving up and down. So that means there's good news and bad news. The bad news is they're not breathing properly. The good news is they have potential. So the potentials to develop the proper breathing, the potential to have more breath when they're speaking, when they're living day-to-day life. So the proper breathing is something that we need to form a habit of. So the proper breathing is when we breathe in, you will see that the abdomen goes out. When you breathe out, the abdomen goes in. So it's only this part moving. The shoulder and the chest, they're not moving. So that's the first habit that we need to form.
And that's not very natural for people because maybe when we're on stage, we want to suck in our belly, right?
Yes, yes,
So
yes.
all right. So the first one is breathing, and breathing, they
Um,
should feel really their belly even expanding.
yes.
Okay.
And also what you just said is a concern for a lot of my female clients. They say, I don't want to have my stomach looking big. So,
Indeed. So that's the
yeah,
first one.
but
So what's the A stand
yes.
for in bar? Yeah.
So A is activation. So activation means that we need to activate the body because just now the voice I was demonstrating is the voice coming from the throat. It's not using the body. So we need to activate the body and use the body as a sounding board to help you project the voice. So that's the second step, second habit as well,
Mhm.
to activate the body. Then
Excellent.
after that, yes,
And so a little bit, so activating the body. So when we're breathing, then
yes,
the air really is able to come in and out much stronger than if we're kind of slumped over
yes,
and just breathing just a little bit at a time or something like that. Is that right?
yes,
Okay,
yes.
so
So,
so the breathing helps you activate, I imagine, to some degree.
so breathing lays the foundation because when we're not breathing properly, you see, when we're breathing in, the body is contracting and getting tense. So even if you want to use the body, you're not able to use it. So that's why breathing is the first step as a foundation, so that this body, the part that we are going to activate, will be ready to be used. So
Very
then,
good.
once the breathing is proper, then we can activate it.
Very good. Very good. So all right. So we have the B is breathing, the A is activation, and the R. What does the R stand for?
R is resonance. So in order to have more sound, we need more resonance. And
Mhm.
most of the times that people want to, if they speak with a soft voice and they want to speak with a loud voice, then their pitch goes up. So that's the improper projection. Uh, so that's why some of my clients, they say, oh, I don't want to speak loudly because it makes my voice sounds irritating. So
Uh,
instead, we want to develop the resonance. Resonance means more vibrations. When there's
uh,
more vibration, there's more sound. So you have more sound without sounding going high pitch or shrill or loud.
mhm.
So that's resonance. It will
Yeah.
also help you change your voice quality.
Very good. Very good. So as you think about these three things, and I imagine, I know COVID was a few years ago, but it transformed a lot of businesses. And you being located in Singapore, I understand you've helped professionals from 52 different countries and six continents. Is what you do largely via remote learning and remote interactions, or do you also go and do in-person trainings and things like
Uh,
that as well?
Yes. So in my work, I do my work in three different ways. One is one-on-one coaching. So in
Mhm.
one-on-one coaching, I do both face-to-face and online. So like I have clients in the States, in Canada, in Europe. So we do it on Zoom.
Mm.
Actually, I was one of the early adopters of Zoom. So I think I started using Zoom in 2015.
Oh,
So
wow.
yeah, long before COVID. And my very first online client was back in 2012. So,
Wow.
so that's why that COVID was not something that, oh, I need to transform my business. So it was a natural transition. So that's one-on-one coaching. And then the other one I do is training workshops. So for training workshops, it's 1 day or 2 days. It's mostly it's in person, but since COVID, we've also done online.
Mhm.
So that one, the workshop is mostly in Asia.
Okay.
The third one is speaking. So I speak in different conferences. That one takes me to different parts of the world.
Yeah.
So that is also something I enjoy very much. And that one I travel to 23 countries now.
Oh, wow. Wow. Very good. I know when I lived in Singapore, I had
Yes.
to start getting pages added to my passport because I think people in Singapore travel a lot to all around Asia and
Yes.
Europe and the United States. And Yeah, so it sounds like you've been to many countries all around the world doing this. And I think
Yes.
it's really powerful what you're helping people to do and how you're helping people to do it. So how do people, if they wanted to find out about you, to either get in a one-on-one coaching or book you for, or learn more about booking you maybe for a speaking workshop or something like that, what's the best way for people to get in contact with you?
Mm. So I've realized that more and more people are contacting me on LinkedIn. So,
Mm.
so I recommend people to contact me on LinkedIn then. You can just go to LinkedIn and search Cynthia Zhai. Zhai is Zhai. Otherwise, you can search Cynthia Voice Coach. You should be able to find me on LinkedIn. And for those who do want to take a look at my website, which is also not bad, it's powerfulexecutivevoice.com. Powerful executive
Powerfulexecutivevoice.com.
voice.com. And
Very
then
cool.
the last one is a learning resource. So on my YouTube channel, I have more than 260 videos because for voice, we're only touching the tip of the iceberg today. There's so much about voice we can talk about. So they can go to my YouTube channel. Again, go to YouTube, just search Cynthia Voice Coach. Once they find my channel, they will see more than 200 videos for them to study voice. We also have, right now, I think 47,000 subscribers.
Oh, wow.
So I need more to help me push to 50,000.
This is fantastic. Well, Cynthia, it has been my honor to have you on the Optics in Action podcast today. I've learned a few things myself just thinking about your BAR acronym, the breathing, the activation, and the resonance of voice. And I think my audience is going to all benefit from this as well. So I just want to thank you very much for being on the podcast today, Optics in Action. It's Cynthia Zhai, and she is a voice coach teaching people how to really get more I'll say I don't want to I keep wanting to use the word activation, but assertiveness and power in our voices. And so it's been an absolute pleasure having you on the podcast today, and
Sure.
we'll make sure that everybody gets to know more about what it is that you're doing and how that they could benefit from it by contacting you in one of those three ways. So thank you again, Cynthia, for being on our
Sure.
podcast today.
Thank you.